Welcome. And we're going to be doing a one-shot. It's going to last the next couple hours. And the setup is that all four of you are low-level swords for hire. You're sell swords, basically. You merc out for whatever jobs seem doable and lucrative. You've done a few jobs. You're still level 1s. And the last couple you've done with these people. So while you might not be best friends, you're not strangers either. You have a general understanding of, who you are and what you do. So you can still be meet and greeting each other now, but there shouldn't be any, big surprise, oh my gosh, that person's evil, I never knew that, at this point. If that makes sense. So you've been taking a few jobs around the countryside. First and foremost, I want to state that it is late spring at this time, and you've been moving around broad grassy fields and already long thawed rivers for a month already. And as you enter this next area, traveling looking for work to do, you find yourself in a sudden blizzard. You do find this town. The town is the village of Birchwood. It is on your map, and it is definitely not supposed to be winter here. It's kind of this tucked-away little burg with broad fields and small, densely packed forests between it and the rest of civilization, and it's kind of tucked in against some tall, stony mountains, which you would expect to be snow-capped all times of the year. But this place, down at the foot of the mountains, should not be. So you very quickly move into the town to try and get some warmth because you hadn't been expecting this kind of weather, and B, perhaps figure out if this is something odd that perhaps people would be willing to pay you to figure out for them. As you enter the town, you do see that it is a small, self-sufficient little village. You can see that there are the buildings outside of them. There are the tools of different trades, like making tools, making weapons. There's a smith here. You can see that there are racks upon which skins are or would be stretched for tanning. And you do see people moving about, down these, not really roads or streets, but these pathways, and they're all bundled up and exchanging pleasantries. They seem quite used to the weather as it is. And as they see you, these strangers, who do not seem to be quite amply dressed at the moment, entering town, a young woman does approach you and calls out to you. So you may interact as you see fit. You can talk to each other, or you can talk to the NPC, whichever seems to make the most sense to you.
Well, is she addressing us?
She does seem to be calling out to you as strangers.
Guys, keep your eyes up. Somebody's trying to get our attention.
She might be able to help us figure out what's going on here. This blasted weather.
You're telling me.
I will wave enthusiastically with one hand while the other clings tight to myself, trying to keep warm, and call, "Hello there! Does it blizzard like this often around here?"
Just as a question for me, is any among you wearing obvious weapons and armor, and what does it look like?
I would
no
have
Pendon.
a warhammer.
A warhammer. And would it be, in a loop or in your hand?
In a loop.
Okay.
Casually.
Alright. Anybody else? Sings, you said something.
I said Dawn would just be having her loot on her back.
Okay, a loot. No other...
I'd be wearing chainmail.
Okay, and chainmail. Okay. Alright, nothing else?
Their armor, short sword at each.
I think
Okay. Then this, young half-elven woman who is bundled in furs. She's got, like, this, blue-dyed, leather coat that seems to be just stuffed with fox fur. Kind of comes up. She's got her hands, like, clasped together inside the sleeves. And she has, she smiles as she approaches, but she does seem to have an eyebrow raised, as though, this is not entirely normal. She says, hello there. We don't get many travelers from the cities out this far. My name's Vanessa. Can you tell me what it is you're looking for out in a village like ours? How can I help you?
We were mostly just traveling, came upon your village and rather out of season blizzard,
I see.
and we were just wondering, do you know why such a weird weather phenomenon is happening?
She kind of, like, dips forward in a laugh. And she says, oh, you noticed the weather, I see. No, actually, it is quite out of season, and we're not entirely sure, exactly what it's all about. You said you were just traveling. Do you not have a destination?
Not exactly. Kind of just going where the wind takes us. At least that's my path. I don't remember regarding these guys. I'm
Wanderers.
Dawn, by the way.
Dawn. Nice to meet you. As I said, Vanessa. And you're, Aarakocra, I think?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. We certainly don't see many of your kind, at least not mingling among the people, usually sticking to their areas. You all look quite cold, and if you're going to be traveling here, I would recommend thicker, garments. Can I invite you inside? We've all put up warm fires. I might be
That-
able to find some furs for you.
That
Yes.
would be wonderful.
I stick my head out from behind the Aarakocra and say, warm fire?
Ugh.
Ah! She seems to notice the tiefling for the first time. And says, if it's alright, you're... Well, she kind of, like, looks to the others, like, is there anything I should know? And says, you're welcome?
We greatly appreciate your hospitality. This, as you mentioned, we are not exactly the best equipped for the setting.
Please, follow me. And she's going to lead you into a small wooden house. There is a fire roaring in the open hearth. And she says, please, if you've got any wet things, you can lay them by the fire. I will get you some, I've got some tea. And she returns a few minutes later and hands out cups of hot liquid. So, travelers, wanderers, even.
Yes, ma'am.
As I said, we don't get a lot of visitors out here, and the villagers don't tend to leave. Lifers, you might say. Would you mind me asking a couple questions?
Please. At least on my behalf. I don't speak for the group. I mostly just speak for myself. Sorry about that.
Fine with a few questions.
I guess I was just curious the kinds of places you usually see. As I said, this is a strange place to find wanderers. Goodness, I have so many questions. I've never been to the cities or anything. Is it true that so many people can live in one place? And how do they farm if everything is paved over in stones?
Phelan kind of chuckles and says, well, there's usually farmland outside the cities, and the cities are just, well, people and artisans and food and loveliness.
Yes, if all the
Temples.
buildings are together and the farms outside, they must take up so much land.
It depends, really.
I notice that some of you are equipped to deal with the ravages of such travel. I didn't want to broach the subject too quickly, but are you fighters?
I'd say so.
Yeah. We can handle ourselves.
Most people, in this village would normally warn me to be careful around types such as yours, but I don't see anybody else coming to help us. So I wonder if you might be willing, if your wandering can be set aside for a day or so, if you might help my people.
Does it
Help.
have to do with this strange weather?
I'm not certain. That seems to be, dealings of the gods, honestly. No, the problem is that, well, just a few weeks back we were experiencing spring, as I'm certain everyone else must be, and we'd begun the spring plant for the fall harvest, and now the plants are being covered over, and so we're low on foods. And normally our hunters would be able to provide. Game is plentiful in the winter. Unfortunately, we've been seeing dangerous animals. They're not entirely uncommon, but they usually would be dormant during this time. And now they are active again. And one of our hunters has already been hurt, so food is even lower. I wonder if you might be willing to find these. There's a pack of these creatures. Perhaps you've heard of gnolls?
Yes, we've heard of them before.
It's a lot to ask. I'm sorry. I shouldn't, but while we might look like we're dealing with the weather well, we're a bit desperate. Everyone else would be too proud to say it.
Please don't apologize. We understand. It part of our job is simply that. Helping others in need.
Are you all of a mind?
For the right price.
I have some savings that I can offer you as repayment. Plus you'd be welcome to stay here so long as I would be safe. Warm place to stay. Whatever food I can spare, we've been rationing, but you can have mine.
We wouldn't make you go without food.
Like I said, I don't know who else could help us in this. People don't usually come this way, and the hunters are our best fighters, and we've already lost one.
I think we should discuss this together and give you an answer.
Very well. I can provide any other information you need to make your decision. Otherwise, I'll be over there. I'm going to offer a prayer to Avandra.
Thank you, Vanessa. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Alright?
She, nods, smiling, worriedly, and heads through a door into a side room.
Well, we have to help her, obviously, right?
Yeah. Just wanted to double check with everyone. This is a
Maybe we
decision
could
we should make.
ask about, like, warm clothes for the duration that we're here.
That is all I would personally request.
That's all I need.
I think we're unanimous.
Indeed.
You make your decision. She remains in the other room until called.
Vanessa?
There is a short pause before she responds, then she re-enters the room. And she has a hopeful look on her face as she regards you.
We will help. We just request warm clothing.
Of course! Please, let me go to the others. I'm certain there will be those who have the clothing to spare. Wait here. Warm yourselves. Let your wet things dry, and, she returns into the room for a moment and then comes back, with a plate that has some stewed carrots on it. Just that. There's, like, 5 of them. They're of a decent size, though. She said this was my meal for today, but please, help yourselves. And she pulls on her coat and runs out the door. She returns about 15 minutes later, with several other villagers in tow.
Hang on, we might have lost someone. Oh.
Are they back? Everything okay?
Sorry, I lost connection for a second.
Okay. She returns about 15 minutes later with several other villagers in tow. They all have, 1 or 2 coats, like, looped over an arm, and they seem to be carrying, a pair of boots and mittens each. And, these people stand before you and look you up and down. In this case, it seems to be, 2 men and another woman. If I forgot to mention, Vanessa's half-elven. The men are a human and an elf, and the final woman is a dwarf. And they enter, kicking snow from their boots, and then set the clothing that they brought. And they've clearly brought more than just 4 items, as they brought them in some different sizes. And the 2 men stop and look the group up and down. They seem very wary, and you can see that at least one of them has, like, a small, like, hunting knife on his belt that he places his hand on the hilt of, as he looks over the group. He says, "So, you're adventurers, huh?"
Yes, sir.
One of many things we are.
Well, out in these border towns, we hear stories about folk like you, troublemakers and the like. So I want to first state that while Vanessa has told us you've agreed to help, and we are incredibly grateful, I want some ground rules followed while you're staying with us. I don't want any trouble. The women are off limits, as are the men. You do the job that we've hired you to do, and then you be on your way.
Understood.
Now then, we've brought some clothing. Something among this should fit each of you. And you will have use of it for the time you're here. If it gets destroyed, so be it. We understand you're providing a great service to us by removing the Knoll threat. He still seems worried as he finishes speaking, though he seems to have fallen better into his position of command. He relaxes back a bit and then gestures to the side and says, "Please, find something that suits. It's very cold out there." And
we greatly appreciate this.
you can call me Victor.
Thank you, Victor.
Phelan smiles brightly and at him and says, "Thank you very much, Victor."
Thank you, sir.
Out there, I should warn you that what you're hunting will be hunting you. We've got some of the best hunters in the area, years and years of experience. And old John still fell prey.
It's the difficulty with gnolls. One-on-one, they're nothing. In a group, very little you can do.
Indeed. John did tell us one thing that we didn't know about the gnolls. They hunt to survive the winter for food, but when they don't find food, well, they begin nipping at each other. That doesn't stop them from being a threat, though. Their dead don't stay that way.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry.
Phelan drops what she's looking at and spins around like, what?
John said that he was attacked by gnoll corpses, ones that had already had the flesh stripped.
That would have been nice to know before we made this decision.
Phelan kind of like shudders, and you can't really tell if it's fear or excitement.
I don't know exactly how you people fight your battles. I myself am not a fighter. But, and he unsheathes the Bowie knife that he's been fiddling the handle of, and holds it across his other palm and says, "My grandfather had this knife made back when he used to hunt these mountains. It's silver. I am willing to give it to you, so long as you make every effort to return it. It's important to me, for more reasons than that it should, at least according to the stories my family had down, make the dead stay that way."
That is my
You believe
number
it will
one.
help?
Did you have problems with these gnolls before the weather became like this?
Not in the way we do now. They live in these mountains. They hunt these mountains. But normally we wouldn't be relying on game during this time of year. So they would have more food, as we were relying on our farming. With the snows, well, now we're encroaching on their territory in a way we normally wouldn't. At least, that's what I believe is happening. That's all that's really changed. In any event, be careful out there, and Avandra guide you.
Thank you, Victor.
What kind of weapon is his knife?
It's a dagger.
I will accept it if no one else reaches for it.
It's not really my cup of tea.
I can, I mean, my character can use it, so.
I'm, as a character, probably pretty comfortable with daggers.
I mean, you're gonna go up and see, he hands it over. He seems like a little bit troubled as you hold out your hand for it before placing it across your hand.
I will make sure that this gets back to you.
He quietly nods and signals to the others, and they file out of the very small house, giving you a lot more room to find the clothing that will fit you. Vanessa comes back up after and says, "There will be traps out there, and if the snow stops, you might be able to find some tracks. Otherwise, you'll be relying on the hunting pathways. They're marked on the upper portions of the trees, so they shouldn't be buried by the snow. The hunters use bark scoring to show which way is which. And she will explain these symbols so that you can easily follow them and not get lost.
I'll leave that stuff to the ranger. My character is going through the clothing. Whatever would fit her small frame goes over her shoulder. Whatever doesn't gets tossed over her shoulder.
So you're just wearing all of it, basically.
Well, if it's too big,
Hang on, I'm small too.
But the point is you're like taking like more than one garment's worth.
Probably.
Okay. Especially in the heat of the fire here, you become immediately aware of the warmth of this. Not uncomfortable, obviously, as being a tiefling, you're comfortable in heat, but it does seem to protect you well from the cold. So, once you have equipped yourselves, and it sounds like Thalen has the knife.
See.
Okay.
So the clothes they brought, was there exactly like there's what, 4 of us? So there was 4 pairs of mittens, maybe like 4 scarves and other articles.
They actually brought about 7 complete outfits worth because they didn't know what would fit you since they only had rough descriptions of you from Vanessa. There is something there that will fit you, and there will be leftover clothing, which, if you are so inclined, you can take.
Yeah, there's less left over because I probably took about 1.5 instead of just 1.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got like two pairs of like kitskin trousers on to like keep your legs warm, and like mittens over your mittens.
Yes.
Like you look a little overstuffed. Like, I don't know if you've seen A Christmas Story.
Oh, little boy Ralphie.
Every year.
But, like, while you're not quite to the I can't put my arms down level, you are looking a little stuffed.
I can't put my arms
Well, you
down!
can put your arms down when we find the knolls, honey.
Tristan,
Yes.
I'm not feeling the greatest, and I need to peace out. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No problem. I hope you feel better.
Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your one shot, and I will try my best to listen in.
Okay. Feel better.
Bye.
I will adjust the encounters. Okay, so you get yourselves ready. The tiefling is looking like they're overdressed. You can head out, and I will ask for a survival roll from each of you. You have the information, so you won't be getting lost, but this will be trying to find the trail of these gnolls. You'll notice that the blizzard itself has died down significantly in the couple hours you spent dealing with the villagers here. It's sort of just a light snow at this point. Still affecting visibility somewhat, and the direction that you're told to look for the pack in does climb into the foothills some. So you're going to be dealing with some upward terrain.
I have an 18 survival.
I have a 15.
Okay, very good. What did you get there, Cameron?
Sorry, 1 second.
No problem.
I got a 9.
A 9. Okay.
I'm a city boy. I don't know how to do this nature stuff.
That's all right. So you're not exactly sure how the ranger is picking her directions as you leave the town and begin trudging through, knee-deep snow up a hill. You're mostly just trying to, deal with your dragonborn, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm a gold dragon.
gold dragonborn. You're mostly just dealing with the discomfort of like ice becoming lodged between your large toes.
That does not sound comfortable.
That's terrible.
But after several hours of trudging, you are feeling hungry again, since the meal you were provided was pretty lacking. Um, I believe one of you has the ability to forage, the Outlander.
Yes, I was going to ask if I can do that even in these conditions, though.
It's gonna be tough, so normally it would just be like you do it automatically. Now I'm just gonna ask for a survival roll. It's not gonna be a terribly high DC, but it's just going to represent the difficulty of, like, finding stuff.
I help.
Okay, you may do so.
I'd make it worse.
That's okay. You may roll it with advantage because the
Alright.
ranger is helping you.
Okay, well, I got a, let's see, advantage. Okay, I got 2 15s, so 18.
Okay. You're noticing as you begin to feel the tightness in your stomach from the hunger, that most of the bushes and trees around you are picked clean, or the leaves have been beaten off by the heavy snowfalls. You do manage to dig into some patches and find some berries that are not destroyed by the cold yet. You're guessing from what you're seeing that, as she said, this blizzard-like cold has only been going on for maybe a week and a half. It seemed to have set in quite quickly. Some of these things are just like frozen preserved and not destroyed by getting colder and colder. You are able to get yourself a few handfuls of berries and nuts that you know are safe to eat, and providing them to the rest of your party, you will feel much better.
Yeah, I come back with my hands full, and I'm like, here's dinner.
You, it's not much, but people eat it gratefully. You continue on your upward climb, and at one point, a pile of snow that looked like a buried bush is going to burst, and you're going to hear this vicious hissing as an animal that, quickly looking over, you see appears to be a badger of some kind, a large badger, begins rushing at you. You can roll to see who reacts first, and then tell me how you react. So I would make an initiative roll. And let's grab your tokens and move them down to, like, yeah, this area here.
I'm gonna guess that's me because I just crit 23.
I don't know. I think my 7 might beat that. It's a pretty good 7.
Can I roll? I guess nature.
Okay.
Try to figure out what exactly it is.
I should be seeing 3 tokens on the lower map on the snowfield all around where this red caved one is. I have goblins, kobolds, orcs, and trolls. Where creature camp? I remember there were animals in here. Deer. Well, they might not have a badger.
So, of my 2 companions, which is the largest?
I think the dragonborn?
Yes,
Probably.
Yeah,
that
I'm pretty much. When that happens, I just jump behind the dragonborn.
That makes sense. See, just trying to see if there's a badger. If not, I'll just use a different token. Just use this, like, gray dog.
Get the puppy. Gotta get it. Beat him up.
So it, like, pops out and starts running at you. So, you rolled nature, Kate?
Yes, I think it was a 13. Just say I think because I'm currently looking at a 13 on die, but I was pretty sure it was an 11 when I rolled it, so I don't know how that happened.
Okay.
So call it 13.
13.
The dice did the math for you.
All right, so with 13, you recognize that this is a natural badger, maybe a bit plump from feeding, or having a winter coat on still. And these things can be viciously territorial. It isn't like undead, and it doesn't seem to be unnatural in any way. It does seem to be charging directly at the party, however. So
I assume there's like chance of backing out without killing it.
if you can think of a way to do it that might spare the life of the creature, you can describe it, then we can go with that.
I was gonna roll intimidation.
Okay.
Just scare it. But it's not my turn in initiative. I'm last.
Right.
I had animal handling.
What would you like to do, Ranger?
I would say I'll try to intimidate it, but I've got a whole +1 to intimidation.
Never tell me the odds. You never know. I might roll a 20.
You just stare in the badger's eyes and go, "Gow, gow."
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ready a shot
Mhm.
and say and ask, anyone have any thoughts on how we not kill this thing? Since we
I
have
don't
to.
know. You're the ranger.
I got this.
All right. So next initiative, I believe, is the Tiefling.
I'll use thaumaturgy and yell at it to go away.
Very interesting. Okay. Make an intimidation check with a +4.
+14 +7, 21.
21. Very good. It does. So that happens.
But it thinks it's Dragonborn did it because I'm still hiding behind the dragon.
Right. So you use thaumaturgy to magically make your voice boom, and it echoes off the rocks and trees and through the sky. You actually see several birds take flight from nearby trees as you yell, as though through a megaphone at this thing from behind the Dragonborn. Dragonborn, what do you do?
I assist in this intimidation. I try to look as big as I can and just scream at it.
Okay. Roll it with, we'll call it just advantage. Roll it with advantage.
Advantage is +1.
Advantage is you roll 2d20s and take the higher.
Cool. So that's 18.
18. Okay. On the badger's turn, you do see that it's like eyes which had been like fully black as it was, focused in on you and preparing its attack. Suddenly those pupils like shrink down, and you see the white around them as it kind of like skids to a stop in the snow, and then like looks around for a way to go and begins bolting to the north.
I stumble out of its way as it goes by.
It does continue past. And
well, that was exciting.
You managed not to kill the badger.
The greatest heroes of the land. We scared a wild animal.
Phelan kind of like looks around, looks above her, watches the birds still scattering overhead, and goes, I hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the butt.
What's passive perceptions?
14.
What is passive perception?
It is your perception score, so whatever it says is your perception.
I was saying that sarcastically at the lack of my passive perception.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
I have an 11.
Very common question.
I have 10. Because I'm a dummy.
14.
Actually, I have to move these things over here because they're in the same. Thought this would make things easy. That's gonna make things not easy. All right. So. You don't have a position. You said yours was a 14,
See.
and Cameron was also a 14?
Passive is just 10.
Passive is just 10. Okay. Then Thalen, you become aware, like you hear like a twig snap and kind of like a distant bark, and you become aware that there's something else in the forest around you. You're on this slope, basically. This is on the slope of a hill. There's, large rocks and trees all around you, creating the paths that you see on screen.
Okay.
You become aware that there's something around you, and you catch the barest glint of the tip of an arrow on a bow right before it is fired. However,
Look out!
yeah, you shout "Look out!" just as an attack comes from between two trees. An arrow is fired at the Dragonborn for a 17 against AC.
That hits.
That hits. All right. You will receive 6 points of non-magical piercing damage and find that your speed is reduced by 10 feet until the end of your next turn as the severely barbed head of this arrow rips into your thigh through your armor.
Nice.
Ow.
How much slower am I?
10 feet slower. So if your speed is 30, it's now 20. A second attack is going to be made. It's going to be made without advantage since they have now given away their position. And it's going to come for the Tiefling. It's going to be significantly lower at only a 10 against AC.
I do believe that miss. Nope, armor class is a 10.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Damn.
Let me make sure.
Yeah, make sure that if you have armor that it's equipped or that you have anything else. But if you have
So
no...
I'm checking.
Yeah, if your dex is 10, then it's just going to be...
Sorcerers get mage armor?
Do sorcerers get mage armor? No.
Weapons
Lame.
armor? No, it does not. It does. I do not have armor.
Okay. Then a 10 hits, and you also receive 6 points of non-magical piercing damage, and suffer a 10-foot speed reduction until the end of your next turn.
That almost killed me.
Well, this is unfortunate. I regret not playing
we're
the
fine.
awesome arm.
We got
I could
this.
have healed you guys for 1 point of damage. Would have been great.
Let's... Okay, I'm gonna use, this picture. Creature. Over here. Between a few trees, you do see a knoll to the south. That's not
Fuck.
And it seems to point to you, the group, and it yells something in a language you probably don't speak since it speaks Knoll.
Do these ones look undead? Can
This
we
one
tell?
doesn't. It seems to be lightly armored and carrying a bow. But as it shouts, you are going to see... Let's see if they've got a good one. I'm guessing they won't. I'm just looking through their, I can put dead bodies up there, but they're just, like, sprawled out dead.
Oh
Do
dear.
they have some? Maybe there's a zombie thing. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Not one of these. Essentials. Are these in alphabetical? No, why would they be? Now, doesn't look like I have a good one.
Also, with a 6 nature, do I know anything about gnolls?
With a 6 nature. You know that they are pack hunters. So the people told you that they were pack hunters. They subsist on the same game that the people normally do during the winter, so they're usually only a problem in the winter. And you learned that when food becomes scarce, they begin eating each other, and that doesn't actually kill them.
So I know what they told us. Okay.
Yeah, you know what they told you. But, you know, speaking of, you know, the undead one,
Ah!
after it shouts in Knoll, you are going to find that you are attacked by a second creature. And, it is going to swing a club at you. This crude makeshift shaft of wood that has spikes and splintered branches sticking off of it. Jesus. It gets, 16 to hit.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, that hits.
Okay. You take 4 points of non-magical bludgeoning damage. And then it's going to try and bite you.
Great.
Which also got a 16. And that's going to be another 4 points of piercing damage.
Ow!
Okay.
We are doing the best.
I mean, to be fair, this guy did a sneak attack.
Mhm.
Very rude.
Okay, so with that, it is the ranger's turn again.
So this one is undead, you said, right?
The one that's biting you, yes.
That's nom-nomming me? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I toss my bow aside and draw a short sword and a dagger and attack?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do that then. So, short sword in the main hand.
Well, you can draw one of them. Drawing 2 would
Okay.
require the dual wielder feat.
I think I do have it
Oh,
as a ranger. Or no, never mind. Sorry, I have 2 weapon fighting.
yeah, you have 2 weapon fighting as your fighting style. So you can get you can drop the bow in the snow, no problem, and you can pull out the short sword or the sword if you want. Or the dagger, whichever you prefer. Oh, by the way, since you spent hours traveling with it, it would be good if I actually told you. You learn that the dagger is +1 magic, and has the ability to destroy undead when reducing them to 0 HP.
Yes. Okay, I will draw the dagger then, and I will make a stab at it.
Cool. So roll for normal dagger at +1 to hit, +1 damage.
I'm assuming that it should be the same to hit as my short sword, +1.
Yeah. Well, so
Aw.
+2.
Can I blame the cat and re-roll? Cause
Yeah,
ouch.
obviously.
Blame the cat. I will blame the cat.
Huzzah! Her tail flicked across the dice. Stop! Can you fucking stop?
Lift and
Jesus.
toss, lift and toss.
All right. All right. So that is a 19 to hit.
Okay, you hit.
Does it apply to damage as well?
Yes, the +1 is for to hit and to damage.
Beautiful. Then that is 2 plus 4, 6.
6.
6 damage.
Very good. It is bloodied.
Huzzah! And,
Is there
shit.
anything else you would like to do with your turn? And you don't have to.
I mean, I would like to run the fuck away, but
Opportunity
honestly,
attacks exist.
yeah. So no, I'm just gonna sit here and hope that he doesn't manage to hit me again, because then I'll probably be dead.
Okay, it is the Tiefling's turn.
I might squeak out a help.
Okay, Tiefling.
I was just reading something. Hold on. I am going to cast Witch Bolts at. Well, that's a waste. Maybe I'm going to cast Witch Bolt at this one.
At that one?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have to roll the hit.
Yep. That is Hunter. Got slightly better AC than the other.
Armor class 16.
You do beat it.
So it takes 11 points of damage.
All right. It is bloody.
And I will proceed to step behind the Dragonborn.
I do believe all of you are... Well, actually, I don't know about the Dragonborn. I know you two are bloody.
I'm 6 out of 12.
6 out of 12, so that's bloody. Everybody's bloody now.
Yay! There's so
Yay.
much.
Yeah, I'm at one. I'm at 1 hit point. Okay.
All right.
So now the name of the game is Protect the very bloodied caster.
Yep. All right. It is your turn. Dragonborn.
Each square is 5.
Each square is 5.
So I go boop, 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 boop.
Okay. You run straight up to the Knoll Hunter.
And I'm going to hit it with my Warhammer, with specifically holding it with 2 hands.
Okay. So you get the extra damage.
And of course, it's 11 to hit. I have been getting the best roll I've gotten so far today was a 14 and a 9 and then 6. I'm doing great.
All right. It did not seem to be prepared for you to rush it while it was still holding its bow, preparing to hit you with more arrows, so you do manage to catch it.
Nice.
Roll damage.
That is... Sorry, I have to re-roll it, because I get to re-roll 1s and 2s on damage.
Nice.
An 11.
11. You reduce it to exactly 0 hit points.
Oh, we forgot something. By the way, I cast a spell. I gotta roll a d20. Hold on.
What do you mean? Oh,
I'm a wild.
you're a
magic.
wild caster. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I rolled 11. I'm fine.
Okay. I've never played with a wild magic. You a warlock or a sorcerer?
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I thinking about? For some reason, I thought you were a warlock. In any event, wild magic sorcerer before. Okay. Boppity boopity beepity bop. It dies. I mean, it goes down. It's now, you catch it, like, right where its, like, neck meets its shoulder, and bring it straight down. It just starts bleeding into the snow pile.
Okay.
Which means it's now the Knoll's turn, so the one remaining one is going to, in response to a Knoll being reduced to 0 hit points within 30 feet.
Oh dear.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Not within 30 feet.
Thank God.
Because otherwise it would get a free melee attack out of Vengeful Strike.
Yep.
Okay, God.
So it's going to make a club attack. boop. For a 11 to hit.
Oh, thank God.
So it misses, and then it's going to try to bite again for a 10. And misses.
I'm alive.
Alright, Elf.
Elf?
Ranger,
You-
sorry.
That's racist.
Aelin. Aelin sounds like an elven name.
Yeah, it does. Whatever. Anyway, okay.
Drank.
Remind me how two-weapon fighting works.
You can draw a second weapon, and what will happen, now that it's another turn, you can draw a second weapon, and now you will attack with one as your main attack. You do everything very normal with that one. Roll with your normal plus to hit and your normal plus to damage, and then as a bonus action, you can roll with the offhand weapon. You get the normal plus to hit, but the damage you don't get any pluses to, you just get the damage die.
Okay, cool. Alright, then I am going to draw a short sword, hit it with the short sword first.
Okay.
That is a crit. Okay, cool.
Okay. So you'll roll two damage dice and then add your normal modifiers.
That is 10 damage.
It goes down on the ground.
Great, I'm gonna stab it with the dagger.
You stab it with the dagger, and as it lies on the ground, not moving, looking very dead for all intents and purposes, you drive the dagger down into it, and you are, your eyes are burned by the sudden white light that seems to sear out from the blade as the whole body suddenly is turned to ash.
Disturbing.
Mm-hmm. But
I like it.
not dangerous.
Like it.
The
Ouch.
the forest around you goes quiet as you let out this long-held breath from this 12 seconds of very near-death experience.
I limp over to like a rock that I can sit on, brush the snow off of it, and sit down.
Can I ready an action,
Mhm.
like ready to attack in case this thing comes back up?
Yeah, you can. You ready your action standing over it with your hammer in both hands, and you wait 6 seconds, 12 seconds, 18 seconds. It doesn't move. It continues bleeding into the snow.
I want to stab it anyway.
Okay.
Tell the
Wander
ranger
over
we
and
should stab this thing just in case.
Okay.
Poke it with the dagger.
You stab it with the dagger. It does not flash or suddenly turn to ash, but it does now have another hole that it's bleeding from. It doesn't seem to react to it in any way, as the creature seems to be very much unconscious, if not already dead.
Okay, so I have favorite enemy as a ranger, and because I am the daughter of Kierna,
You know,
undead is my favorite enemy.
of course.
Um, do I know if just using a silver weapon on something dead would prevent it becoming undead, or is it just it would kill undead?
You know that silver and undead don't usually have much to do with each other. You begin to suspect that the idea that this dagger being silver is what does it is just the story they've been telling, that it's actually the magic that's on the dagger that allows it to destroy undead.
Okay.
Normally, in order to prevent things from becoming undead, you would need to burn the bodies so that they can't be raised, or perform a rite such as gentle repose, which would prevent them from being raised.
We burn the bodies. Okay, then I'm gonna set to lighting a torch on fire and burning the body.
Okay. You're all very hurt, so I do recommend that you take an hour short rest to catch your breath and clean your weapons, and then you can roll that one hit die you have to get back some HP.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
What would the hit die be?
What?
Whatever hit dice you roll.
Right, so you're a fighter, right?
Yeah, so it's 12.
Okay.
Or 12-sided die.
Okay. I thought only the barbarians were D12s, but okay.
Well, then you messed up the character because it's a level 1 with 12 health.
You
Well, what's
get
your constitution
yeah.
mod?
What's your con save or your con mod?
Oh, that's true. I have
Yeah.
2, so it's a D10.
Okay, I'm pretty sure fighters and paladins are both D10s. So you'll roll a D10, and then you'll add your Constitution modifier to whatever you rolled. So if you roll a 6, you get 8 HP back.
I got the 10, so I'm more than good.
Wow, nice. So everybody roll your 1 hit die, and then add your con modifier to it for your HP healing. As you...
Sorcerer 6, right?
I do believe that's correct. I think all of the casters went up from D4s to D6s in this edition.
Oh, no kidding. I rolled a 6.
So you gain 11? I forget what con you had. I usually give people 14 con just to be...
I have a con of 1, so but 6 is the 6 maxes me
How
without
much
the
damage
con.
we had?
Cool. Huh?
Mhm. It's how much. I was just saying, it's how much damage we had. We
Right.
both got.
I took 8. Thanks, guys.
You're okay.
You
It's
got
fine.
smacked up by that witherling.
That would have
I'm just-
dropped me, so don't complain.
So yeah, the null witherling which you destroyed when it attacked you, you would notice that this thing was just patchy bits of flesh stretched over a skeleton. In many areas, the bones completely exposed, tatters of cloth wrapped around it, and tufts of fur sticking out everywhere, with a pretty much exposed skull for a head. Like, this thing very much just looked like a risen zombie or skeleton, but it moved like a living hunter.
Mhm.
Should I roll like medicine or something to find out if that bite wound's gonna be a problem?
You may roll that.
Motherfucker. Medicine, I assume.
Yeah.
That's a 6.
Okay. You'll probably want to find a medicine person to give you some antiseptic for that. It is a sore bite wound. And did you get your health back for the short rest?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm full.
Alright, so you guys find, a spot between some trees to block the wind where you can kind of dig out the snow a little bit, give yourself some protection from the elements, and kind of huddle together to pass an hour as you treat your wounds and clean your weapons. During this time, you become aware of a constant wind as it seems to whistle through the trees around you. And this wouldn't normally seem strange to you, except it seems to be blowing down from above you on the mountain, and every few minutes you do feel another cross breeze coming from a different direction. And as two of you are quite familiar from your survival roles with navigating nature, you know that wind doesn't generally blow in 2 directions at once. Also, one of these 2 winds, the one coming from higher up the mountain, does seem to bring a particular chill with it.
Cool. At the top of the mountain, guys. We're gonna find out what the hell this blizzard's all about. Of excitement in Phelan's eye.
By the end of your rest, you do feel confident in the idea that there is something strange about the chill wind coming from above, and that it might warrant investigation, but whether or not you investigate it is up to the players.
Should figure out if there are any more gnolls. I mean, I assume there are many more, but we should deal with that first before we go adventuring up a mountain.
Are you sure about that? They almost killed us, just 2 of them.
Well, that's what we're tasked to do.
Yeah, but if I had a choice between completing this task and living, I choose the latter.
That's fair.
We're all okay now. I'm gonna just kind of like.
By the way, my character is like pretty much crowding right near you like a little child.
Mhm.
It's funny because I'm the one who's like 16.
Hanging out with the Knoll Corpse. Best place to be.
I mean, it's so warm.
Oh, I don't want it to be warm.
I mean, it
Like-
was warm for like the first half hour of your hour-long rest.
I mean, it was burning, so
Firewood.
it's pretty warm. Anyway, I'm gonna just kind of like range around, look for tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Might where they were coming from, if
All right.
there's more, that sort of thing.
Roll survival.
That's just rude.
And also stealth.
Well, that's terrifying. Survival is 8.
Sweet.
Wow. Stealth is 7. Oh, wait, sorry. The survival should be 10.
Survival's 10. Okay.
I forgot that the way, because I don't have a background really on the treatment sheet. Jesus Christ, again.
All right.
Character sheet.
So you do
I'm-
range around, and eventually you pick up the remnants of a trail from these gnolls that jumped you, and you begin following them, and eventually you do find a cave not far away that the trail seems like it probably came from.
Okay. Once I have kind of ascertained where they appear to be coming from, I'm gonna, go back to the others, assuming they didn't just follow me.
I think they didn't.
No.
And just let them know there's a cave. I don't know if there's more in there, but it seems to be where the tracks came from. A good place to look for any further issues.
Sniffing around the cave, nothing came after you, so at least if there's anything in there, it didn't notice you while you were tracking.
With my 7 stealth. Anyway, shall we go investigate?
I think so.
I stare at the sorcerer brightly with a smile. Oh, I should probably get my longbow. I haven't declared that yet, but I'm gonna go pick up my bow again.
Okay, yeah. You go and pull it out of the snow where it's been slowly getting buried by the light snowfall that has persisted.
Do I have a choice?
I mean, she kind of shrugs in a way that suggests, not really, but you could, I suppose, just not fight.
I mean, there was a cave and the tracks led into the cave. Was there any large boulders nearby?
Did I notice anything that they could hide behind? Oh, hi.
Oops, wrong one. That's not the paladin, the Dragonborn. Yeah, kinda. If they stand outside the cave, there's technically a big boulder to hide behind, which is the edge of the cave entrance.
Well, is the boulder as big as the mouth of the cave?
I mean, so if you look on the map where I've placed you,
Oh, I see.
this is the mouth of the cave, and so you could tuck into this corner over here and then pop out to fire in if you wanted to.
I think he's meaning to try and cover the cave in.
Yeah, this you don't want nobody coming out of the house. You just lock the door.
Oh, I see. I mean, yeah, a boulder as big as the cave entrance would probably not be movable by the people in this party, given the low
Well, I mean,
average.
the Dragonborn's kind of big. Yeah.
I mean, so we're talking about, like, a car, but without wheels.
Hey, I'm as strong as two kind of weak people.
It is not reasonable to think that you could move a single boulder in front of this the mouth of this cave. It is too large that even if there was a rock nearby that was that big, there's just no way you're moving it.
Are we at the mouth of the cave having this discussion? I take it.
No, I've just moved you over here so that you know on the map what's going on.
Yeah.
So,
I
okay.
wouldn't have had us move until we made the decision.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Lead the way.
Alright. She leads you over. You see the very large mouth, and you go, okay, yeah, no, a stone that big would not be movable.
The whole way there, I'm grumbling and infernal.
I am unconcerned.
Alright, when you get there, I want all three of you to roll stealth.
Take 2. That is better. 19 still.
19. Dragonborn.
I don't want to say it. You know the rolls that, like, just getting a critical failure would have been more fun. It's a 3.
Okay. Tiefling, what have you got?
I got a 15, and I got no bonus, so it's just a 15.
Okay.
Perfect. The one that we want being noticed is being noticed, and we're not.
Yeah.
You both are aware that the Dragonborn is their footsteps pushing through the snow, the jingle of their chain armor is pretty noticeable, especially as you get into this little alcove where you're a little bit more protected from the wind, and everything falls.
Am I noticing how loud he's being?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so I immediately just kind of move over to the ranger away from the Dragonborn.
I just kind of like grin at you. I also, stay away from the
Shouldn't we be
Dragonborn.
going further into the cave?
Yes, we should.
Why not try to lead what is in there out?
Could get their attention, but
Do you see anything?
I hold my hand up, and I say, I could make it brighter.
Okay.
I'm looking into the cave entrance.
Are
I'm
you
assuming
might
it's
help, actually.
are you going to make it brighter?
If they are not, like, are they just standing in the? I just say you might not want to stand there looking at the Dragonborn.
Nah, it's fine. We're fine. It's fine. I got this.
How will you make it brighter?
I use dancing lights, and I'll send the little orbs into the cave.
You create 4 orbs that produce dim light, and inside the cave, which you find isn't more than maybe 20 feet deep, with a 7-foot high roof, and that tapers down at the edges. It's very close in there. It's just got a very wide mouth. You do see first, as the orbs begin traveling in, you see, remnants of things that have been eaten, just, stray bones, broken rags of cloth, splintered wood. And as the lights move deeper in, you become aware of 2 forms on the ground that just seem to be piles of bones, until you notice, one of them reaches up a skeletal hand and, scratches itself as they lie there. They seem completely unaware.
okay.
Might want to try to go for a sneak attack with the silver dagger.
Yeah, do I get any bonuses?
If you attack an unaware target, you roll with advantage.
Okay. I'm not gonna down it in one hit with the dagger, so I'm gonna stow my longbow because that would have been what I was carrying again.
A dagger could
out.
definitely
And I
down it in one hit on a crit.
So
that
I
requires-
moved the orbs of light so that they're off to this, kind of off to the sides.
I mean, the orbs of light haven't seemed to be noticed, even though they're drifting close to these prone forms. So you could leave them in place so that your friends have light to see by, or whatever you want to do.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then.
They do produce like 10 feet of dim light around them. So with 4, the area is totally lit with dim light.
Really wish coup de grace existed.
Yeah.
I'll just grab 2 more of these assholes.
I need to take a moment and use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I used this one.
Is it still like a surprise round?
If you attack them when they're asleep, it would be a surprise round, so everybody, as long as you can get up to them without making them notice you, then you'd be able to have everybody go before them.
Yeah, so like we should all like focus on one.
Thinking if I can manage to get... Yeah, if I can manage to get 2 attacks off, I might be able to down one on my own. And I was thinking maybe you... I'll creep up, you prepare a spell. Or prepare to you know, throw a spell at the other one, and we'll try to attack at the same time and just take them out
Actually,
before I react.
if we back up like 40 feet from them, you try to take the one out, I can ray of frost the other one, and then it wouldn't be able to get to us the next round.
I don't think I can throw that far. Shoot it with the longbow.
Sorry about that.
Alright. They're planning how they want to deal with this, since they haven't managed to disturb these 2 creatures yet.
Mm-hmm.
The suggestions have been to sneak in and stabby stab, or to back up to the maximum that you can, which is, like, you know,
Right there.
here.
Yeah.
Actually, how certain
That's
are we
30
on their
feet.
speed? They might be quicker than we expect them to be, and the Ray of Frost plan wouldn't work. I don't know. Apparently, I know nothing about gnolls.
Well, even if they had a move speed of 40, if he hit it with Ray of Frost, they'd only be able to move 30, and if you're 40 away, they wouldn't be able to get you.
But what if it's high? I don't fucking know. I rolled a 6!
My suggestion would be Ranger goes in, stabs one of them with the dagger, and I ready in action for the moment that you stab them to rush in and hit the other one. Because if I'm going in, they're going to wake up.
Well, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the cave's not deep. The cave's not deep, so anybody who wanted to rush in but didn't trust or anybody who wanted to be in there but didn't trust their stealth could wait outside.
Mhm.
And still get in and help. But you currently haven't been detected. They don't seem to be going anywhere. They appear, for all intents and purposes, to be dead piles of bones, but one of them moved, so you imagine this is their version of sleeping.
Mhm.
Alright, I'm gonna creep in, and I'm gonna ready, ready an attack with the short sword, so that if it pops up at me before I get to it, I'm just gonna fucking hack at it.
Hmm?
And just as soon as I hit melee, I'm gonna short sword it.
Okay, we'll use the same initiative from before, so Aelin will go first.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of glance at both of them and nod, I guess. And creep up to this one.
Are you wielding both weapons so that you can, like, make 2 attacks?
I absolutely am.
Okay. Declare your attacks.
All right. So is it just the first one that's gonna get advantage, or will they both have advantage? Tries to wake up.
If it becomes aware after being hit the first time, which it probably will, then only the first one will get advantage.
Okay. All right, short sword.
On the off chance it somehow isn't aware after that, you would still have advantage, but I would not count on that.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Sorry about that. Short sword attack is 18.
That's gonna hit.
And damage is cool. 9.
Okay. You deal 9 points of damage. And it kind of, like, lets out this weird clacking hiss, rather than, like, a cry of pain. And they both seem to become more active, but they, it's not their turn. They aren't rising or anything like that, but they both, like, seem to know that you're there now.
They are awake.
Okay.
Make your second attack. Remember that you get your bonus on the to hit, but no bonuses on the damage.
Okay.
Except for the +1 from the magic weapon.
Oh, okay. That is 16.
Okay, a 16 will hit.
Oh. And 2 damage with the dagger.
2 damage. The first one had been 6 damage, right?
No, it had been 9 actually. I
9. Oh, excellent. Okay. It another blinding white flash, and the thing immediately becomes ash.
Woohoo!
It is Tiefling turn.
Yeah, Ray of Frost at the other one.
Okay. Nice. Oof. Ray of Frost, roll it.
Um, 10 plus 5, 15.
15. Can you roll one more die? Because I just realized since they're laying on the ground, you have disadvantage.
Sure.
And hopefully you roll higher than a 10.
That was. Well, I rolled a 14 that time, so
Perfect.
19 on that one.
Oh, it's disadvantage, so it's still actually just the 15. I just want to make sure you didn't
Right.
roll lower. Yeah, a 15 will hit. So roll for cold damage.
D8. I rolled a D6. Hold on. 4 points.
4 points. Okay, it is slowed by 10 feet. It is Dragonborn turn. You saw her sneak in there, stab it with a short sword, and then stab it with the dagger, and it just became ash, and then a white ray of cold hit the other one, which is still writhing on the ground.
Okay. Since it's clearly still alive, I'm gonna go up to it and smack it with my hammer.
Okay. Roll it.
1 second. It's a 13.
A 13 will hit. Actually, you have advantage because it's prone. So roll a second die and see if you crit.
Trying to use this newfangled app that I have on my phone to roll dice, and it's just a pain in the butt. Also, that's a crit.
You crit, see? Excellent! So roll 2 damage, 2 times the damage dice, however many damage dice you have for a normal 1 hit, and then add normal modifiers.
Just use D&D Beyond. Everything's on the sheet.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my screen just for the map and use my phone for the character sheet. But that's just because I have a small screen. That's 11 damage.
Okay. You smash your hammer down right in the middle of its chest, and ribs splinter and go flying out, clattering off the walls. It just sort of hisses and just seems to fall still, like its arms just sort of fall to the sides and kind of become disjointed.
Yeah.
Stabby time!
It's at 0 HP. They have no initiative round now, so yeah, elf again.
Oh my goodness.
Ugh, Phelan again.
Stab you with the dagger!
And poof! It already being at 0, it just poofs to ash. Boom. Alright, you managed to get through that without spending any resources. So, what now?
Question. We're in mountain terrain?
Yeah.
Cool, because that's actually my
Favored
terrain type, yeah.
Nice. Doesn't that give you advantage on survival rolls here?
Yeah, it gives me advantage on int and wisdom checks. Isdom, okay.
Yeah, so
Can't
survival
become
and...
lost, alert to danger even when engaged in another activity, move stealthily at a normal pace while alone, twice as much food while foraging. While tracking creatures, you learn the exact number, size, and how long ago they passed through the area. I think that's the most important part there.
Okay. Then, make a survival check with advantage.
Oh, sorry, it's not advantage. It's proficiency bonus is doubled
Okay,
for
so
proficient skills.
if you're proficient in survival, then you should roll it with double proficiency, which I believe would be 4 instead of 2.
Yeah. 23.
With 23, you are aware that at least in as far as you have traveled this area, this seems to be the only pack hunting in this area.
All right.
And with this many of these kinds of dangerous creatures, it is no surprise that the town was having so much trouble.
I love that the badger's still sitting at the edge of the map. It's so cute.
Waiting to go home. Just trying to get some food. Now it's just like, I want to go home.
So you do feel confident that at least in as far as the local area, which includes the town at the bottom of this foothill, you've solved this gnoll problem for the time being.
Well, I feel pretty confident that that's the last of the gnolls, guys. So we can check out the top of the mountain now, right? And she's
I'm
like
down.
brimming with excitement. And staring down the tiefling now.
The gnolls are gone. Are you sure?
I feel pretty confident. I'm pretty good at tracking things in mountainy areas.
Okay, let's go back to the village then.
But the crazy breeze from the top of the mountain.
Ugh. I guess if it gets rid of this blasted cold weather, sure.
Woohoo!
Alright. You begin pushing against the icy chill wind, which careens over you from above. Do all three of you make a survival check.
Oh, that is less good.
I got a 17.
Remember that you have advantage, Gate.
No, not advantage. Doubled proficiency.
I doubled proficiency. God damn it. Advantage.
That's a 9.
I got a 2.
I got a 17.
A 17. Alright, so the tiefling, who is overdressed, just stuffed, like, they seem pretty toasty in their clothing, finally able to ignore the cold weather, which is so uncomfortable. They start marching up the mountain. The other two of you stumble your way up after them, falling behind and slowing things down significantly. It takes you what looks like it should have been maybe like an hour of climbing on this pretty decent grade to get up to where you believe, because as you get closer, you begin to notice that there is another, like, open mouth cave sticking off the side of the mountain that this wind seems to be rolling down out of. You can see the flurries of snow coming out of it. You kind of judge, okay, it should take us like an hour to get up. It takes you like 2.5.
Great.
It is
So
now,
when they-
like, evening by the time you
when they-
get there.
Finally get to the top of the mountain. I just look at the dragonborn and I'm like, I expected this from you. But then I point to Phelan. I'm like, but you like the mountains. Are you okay?
I was just making sure that he didn't get lost.
This and then the badger. Are you sure you're a ranger?
Hey! I'm still new at this.
Ranger light so far.
City girl ranger.
Don't be mean.
I read a book about nature, okay? And had a dog. I think that counts.
I read a book on danger once. I heard about danger from a friend this one time. Let's see. Okay, I
Besides,
guess I'm just going to
specialize
use
in undead, not badgers.
Hey, if you're gonna use the same map and you want to make it different, you can like spin it around.
Oh, I can spin it
It would
around.
spin it around. You know, oh look, new map.
Just have you coming up from this direction instead. Move you all
Okay.
down to here, and now you're moving northbound instead, and use the same goddamn cave.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna leave the badger.
Yeah, it's our mascot.
Yeah. We're all Hufflepuffs.
Oh, God.
I'm so sad about the Harry Potter store. But that's a discussion for another day. Alright. So I'm gonna roll stealth and creep up to the edge of the cage. Cave? Not cage.
Okay. You may do so.
Motherfucker! My dice are very fickle today. Okay, so that's a 9.
A 9 on stealth. Alright. You
Yep.
sneak up to the edge of the cave.
Oh god, that's a lot of little what the fucks are they? And I've got my longbow out again, by the way.
Okay. Are you guys letting her go alone, or are you following at a distance? What do you want to do?
I would definitely follow, but at a short distance so that I don't ruin her stealth.
Okay. So
My
you can be
stealth
no
are
closer than like 30 feet from her.
Okay.
Alright, can I see anything yet?
As you climb up to the cave, it does sort of have like a little bit of a plateau outcropping from it, and you can now fully feel this icy wind rolling out and rolling, like getting inside your clothing. You are chilled even despite the lovely clothes you were given. I'm just trying to find quite the right. I guess I'll use this. Oh no, I'm on drawing. Alright. Right layer again, objects and tokens. That there. you're going to be able to peer inside the cave, and as you do, you're going to see that there are all of these small reptilian creatures standing around this one spot toward the back of the cave, completely motionless. They appear. Do you have dark vision?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, so they appear completely motionless. You are aware of 3 that seem to be moving about among them, doing something back there. One is very close to you, and you can hear it calling in broken common to the others, like, give it this, put it over there, no, just keep it calm.
Nature?
Go for it.
11.
Okay, you are aware.
No, sorry, not even. 9.
You are aware that the creature that is like 20 feet away from you is a small reptilian creature that can speak broken common.
Nice. I'm gonna creep back over to them and inform them of this. There's a bunch of little reptilian things that speak common, but badly. Talking about give it this, put it here. I don't know. There must be something toward the back of the cave. And there's a bunch of them. There's like 3 that are moving around, and then there's a whole bunch that just kind of look like they're just sitting there. Floating? Are they floating?
No, they're all on the ground.
They're all on the ground.
They're all facing different directions, but they were just stock still, these silhouettes that you could see inside the cave.
Should we see if they need help? Maybe they're frozen by the chill winds, and we can help them and work together.
That is rather optimistic. But I don't see a reason to believe that they're inherently violent. So, should... I would like to know more about what they're talking about.
Can I make a new stealth check if I approach again?
Sure.
Just keep doing this over and over until it works.
Can you take 20 in this edition?
Not on stealth.
No, not stealth. I mean, like,
You can. They allow you to take 10. They don't talk about taking 20 in this edition. They don't even talk about taking 10. But like, on anything that you could just attempt over and over, Yeah, I would say it's a reasonable rule.
I think that trying to
stealth.
figure out as much as we can after she gets there would be worth the risk of just standing there.
Just standing in the cave mouth and watching them.
Mouth agape, just, what's that? What you doing?
I want to
Alright.
move around to the other side.
To the other side. Wait, you mean over here?
Yeah, I'll go around. Because these
Okay.
rocks are in the way, they won't see me.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough climb getting up that way, but you can do it. I will need, once you get to, here, to get, in range and be able to do anything, because it's above you, and there's, an outcropping, an area in front of the cave that makes it so that it's not just, walk up onto. You kind of have to climb it a bit. I would need an athletics check.
Okay, surprisingly, I have that. I don't know why. I got a whole +1 in athletics.
Nice. I think it's because I was trying to make sure that there were some very unusual skill picks when I made these
And
characters.
I rolled a 10, so I got an 11.
Okay. It's rough. It's gonna take you many minutes, and you're gonna find that you need to remove one of the pairs of mittens to get a little bit better grip. So your hands actually are a little bit uncomfortably cold.
Oh, come on.
You still have the one pair of mittens on, but you notice the cold. Um,
I'm grumbling in Infernal the whole time.
in the meantime, that's going to take her some time to do, so tell me what you two are doing.
I'm just kind of creeping as close as I dare to go. Actually, I'll probably creep a little bit closer because I'm trying to learn a little bit more. I'm just
What
gonna
was
kind
your
of
stealthy
approach.
stealth?
It was 10.
Okay, you got a whole
But I'm
point
just gonna
better.
a whole point better. I'm just gonna kind of creep up along the like edge of the entrance and see if I can hear anything better.
Okay, roll investigation.
Great. Oh, sure. Now I roll well. 13.
13.
Too bad
Okay.
I don't have any pluses to it.
Well, you sit there. Dragonborn, are you going to be joining her, or are you sticking back?
I was going to try to go up here,
Uh-huh.
and then just hang out over here, so I'm still well away from
Okay.
the opening,
Yeah.
but much closer.
Okay, yeah. That's fine. Alright. With your 13, you are able to sit there for a few and listen to what's going on. They do not seem to notice you. It does seem like the lizard that was close to the entrance is directing things, and it does seem like it's directing the two other moving creatures, to... It sounds like they're taking care of something, like an infant of some kind.
Okay.
So,
So they
because he's
sound like they're like nurturing it and not like.
It does sound like they are attempting to do that. Without a light source, you can't see really well what's going on, but from the calls and tones and the things that they're discussing or that they're giving orders about, it seems like, they're lamenting a lack of food and ways of caring for this thing.
And they don't happen to like let slip what it is.
At one point, it says, it's going to be our god, so we must keep it alive.
I kind of like look at the dragonborn and mouth, our god? I don't know if he can hear any of this. He might just look at me like I'm crazy, but.
You do notice a lot of other sounds going on that might be speech. I don't think you speak Draconic.
I do not.
But it does seem to be utilizing the common for emphasis.
I know Draconic.
No way!
I know!
Crazy!
These weird characters you made. Really out there.
What would you like to do? By this time, you've now spent several minutes listening and staying hidden. By that time, our tiefling friend does mantle the rock and has a look inside. You have dark vision, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, never mind.
Alright, so you get up to the other side of the mouth of the cave. What's your stealth roll?
I got an 8.
Cool. Alright, so you do get, you manage to peer around the edge of this cave, and you hear this little reptilian creature chirping at the others, in a mixture of Draconic and Common. And you immediately notice that the ones that are in white are all stock still, and with your dark vision you can see that they are frozen solid in ice. Like, not encased in blocks of ice, but they themselves are just coated in ice, like statues.
Huh.
The gray ones, the darker ones, those are the active ones, and they seem to be, the two beyond, seem to be attempting to give food to an even smaller lizard at the back of the cave. But pretty much as soon as you gather all this in like a cursory glance, the one up at the front giving orders and like yelling at the other two kind of seems to like shudder and stop, and then like slowly look over its right shoulder and like catch you like staring at it from the edge of the cave. And it's
in that moment of pause where we both see each other,
yeah.
I just kind of smile and like wave at it.
I assume I see this unfolding.
It's gonna like turn its head far enough that you can kind of like see its snout, and you're gonna see its lip like pull back in a tight like smile enough that the fangs like kind of protrude through, and it like kind of like nods at you. And you're just gonna see its pupil like shrinking and shrinking as this look of terror grows on its face, and it's gonna suddenly squawk very loudly, "Intruders, protect the god!"
Wait!
Bifrost.
Let's talk first.
Okay, roll for new initiative.
Well, this is important because if I go before her,
I know.
shoot it.
That's why the initiative is important.
Oh, I rolled a 9.
Ooh, what you got?
I've got 11.
Okay.
Oh.
What have you got, Dragonborn?
I got a 5.
So the initiative is exactly the same as it was before. All right.
Have you guys ever seen the Charlie Brown cartoon where they're all like getting candy and it's like, I got 5 pieces of candy, I got a chocolate bar. Then Charlie Brown's just like, I got a rock.
Yes.
And that's just every single time I roll, it's just, I got a rock.
So these
Unless I'm
things,
hitting things.
then you do well, which is really where it matters.
It kind of fits.
So you're gonna see these things like suddenly like shock straight, and you're gonna see like these little like webbed dragon like wings sprout off their back, like not that they weren't there, but they were folded, and they're going to hop back and spread them so that you can't see the creature at the back of the cave, and they're going to be like have claws bared, like one of them has like a club in their hand, and the one at the front just like reaches down, pulls up a spear off the ground, and turns towards you. What do you do as they take up these defensive positions, Phelan?
I'm just going to. I guess I'm probably gonna have to roll persuasion, probably, but I'm just gonna. I guess I'm gonna say, no. We don't want to hurt you. We're trying to figure out the source of this cold. And she kind of shivers for emphasis.
It's going to, like, grip the spear tightly and say, "It is our god!" Alright. Do you take any actions?
Can I respond once more first?
If it is short.
So your god is creating this cold?
Gods
kinda-
doest what they will? And what are you gonna do? You started to declare something.
I'm debating if I'm just gonna shoot it. I'll still try for a peaceful solution first.
Okay. You are aware that your tiefling friend is drawing themselves up to make a spell attack.
You can tell me to wait if you want to wait.
You can jump between them and the
Oh, hell no.
creature.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
Alright, fuck it. Let's shoot it.
Well, this
Our
went
god
a
is making it
direction.
unnaturally cold. No, I don't know.
Hey, whatever you want to do, you just tell me. You said you want to shoot it. If you're going to shoot, then you may roll the attack.
Can I just, I don't know, roll persuasion, see if I can convince them to hold off for a moment while everybody kind of gets their bearings and see if we can reach some sort of accord.
You may roll persuasion. It will basically just be giving me an idea of how persuasive what you've already said, how much more persuasive what you've already said is going to be. They don't entirely seem like they're going to jump. They seem to be moving defensively, is what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. That's the only reason I'm not immediately shooting them. That is my hesitation. All right, that is 13.
Okay. With that, it becomes the Tiefling's turn.
I will hold my action
Okay.
if she is trying to talk to them.
She has spoken to them. They haven't seemed entirely reasonable, but not a lot has been said. Would you like to try saying anything?
I asked them to put their weapons down so we can talk.
Okay. Roll a persuasion. Or an intimidation, whichever you feel is more appropriate.
Persuasion.
Okay.
I'm really good at persuasion. I got a 16. I rolled an 11.
Okay. Okay, cool. Good to know. Alright. You still see that it looks frightened, but you can see that it seems to be hearing you and comprehending. Alright, Dragonborn turn. What are you gonna do? Two people have basically jumped in and shouted things at them, and it, like, shouted back a little bit. But it hasn't gotten to go yet.
I want to move here to talk to the ranger.
Okay.
Just what's going on. Because I haven't heard any of this. I don't know what's going on.
You've heard the shouting.
Yeah, but shouting can mean many things.
Right, but I mean, you've heard and understood the shouting. Like, you
Okay.
heard the words.
Okay. Then I want to say, I understand what your hesitation, but you have to realize how much damage this thing has already done as a newborn. I can't imagine it being safe.
Okay. You can roll some persuasion, and then
I forgot to ask this. Can I see what it is they're...
When you caught a glimpse before everything started moving fast, you saw a very pale, small lizard-looking creature, like about the size of them, but moving on all fours. And then after, like, it shouted, the two at the back literally put up their wings so you cannot see the creature anymore. Like, they're shielding it from you. But it did seem to be a very pale-skinned, winged lizard with 4 legs. Dragonborn, are you positioning yourself such that you can see into the cave at all, or are you still basically, like, back to the rock and whispering over to the ranger?
I'm still back to the rock.
Okay. So, what'd you get on your persuasion?
I got crit, so 22.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not trying to. I should clarify. I'm not trying to convince anyone. This is more just
reminding them the stakes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like informational more than persuading.
Yeah.
So of course I got a 22 on the thing I didn't want to work.
Sorry.
Nah, It's the odds.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So,
It becomes their turn. These two do like find weapons at their feet and bring them up. They still have their wings spread, shielding whatever it is. The other one is going to hop back, still holding its spear out, and say, "It does not matter. Gods do as they will. We must protect ours. Go away!" It seems very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, remind me what you just said to them.
To you.
Oh, to me.
What I said to you was just how much damage this thing can do already, almost destroying this village's livelihood. And it doesn't even seem to be trying to use its power for any one thing. Like, it's not directing its power, it's just that's the damage it does just by existing as a baby. So it seems too dangerous to let this thing keep going. But if you want to keep talking, I will follow your lead.
She kind of nods thoughtfully. I'm kind of the same mind, but I can't help but hope maybe we can find some place for it.
Mm-hmm.
The reptilian creatures have fallen into a tight defensive pack, and they don't seem to be aggressing you. They seem to be shouting at you to leave. It becomes Phelan's turn. You don't have dark vision, so you would be at disadvantage to make any attacks against them now.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be willing to give up whatever this creature is.
Yeah.
At least, not as yet.
I'm gonna step, more openly, I guess, into the cave mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I still can't tell that the things that appear to not be moving are frozen solid, correct?
I mean, a lot has happened that they have not reacted to. Maybe they're not real people and actually statues. They're all small creatures. Size of dwarves or halflings. The dwarves, I think, are medium, so halflings.
I will say... I don't want a metagame. Can I make an educated guess that these things are like frozen? The things that have not moved at all.
Make a wisdom
Based
check.
on the total cold and...
Your character can make any assumption you want to make.
Yeah, but I don't want to be metagaming.
Yeah, we know for a fact that it's true as players.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know as a character because he told me they were frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to decide if that is seems like a reasonable assumption, right? I rolled an 8 on die. I don't know what I would add to it. Just straight wisdom would be 10. 12 if perception.
It's
I don't know.
Since the threat of combat has kind of been halted, are we still in initiative?
We are still in initiative because I don't know if somebody's going to make an attack, but you can utilize your actions for talking more as opposed to attacking, if that's what you want.
Mhm.
So what are you going to do, Phelan?
Okay. So I'm going to make the assumption that these things are frozen and say
I mean, as a character, you can also ask for light. Since you know somebody can.
this is true. I hate the talking bits. Why do I always try to do the talking bits?
That seems a strange complaint. You usually are very good at roleplaying.
Not when I have to convince the things of people of things and things of things. Anyway, I guess I'm just gonna kind of. I am attempting to inject calm and kind worry into all of my words as I say, "This is your god," but he seems to have, or he seems to be hurting your people. Um. Fuck.
And all
Might
of you
as well
see
do
the
it.
user in the list called Fred Boat. It's got like a sailboat as its icon. It might be visible in a different list. Yeah, it's in general, so if you go to general, you should be able to see it under robot.
I see the Fred boat.
I recommend you right-click on it and set its volume to about 50 right now. I haven't been using it, and I should have been.
In which app?
In Discord.
Discord.
Okay.
I see Carl bot.
You don't see Fred Boat underneath Carlbot?
No.
In general chat? General chat? You like scroll all the way up to the top general chat.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, so you can right-click on him and just drag his slider down to about 50. I just don't want to blow anyone's speakers out when I start this up, because it should really be at 50. They put him at 100.
Yeah. It's very loud before you deal with him.
Just let me know when I can say anything.
Alright, so you made your case? You said that the creature seems to be hurting their own people?
Yeah, basically. I think that's good enough for me for now.
Okay. Then, yes. Now you may say anything.
Okay, so taking Phelan's lead and going against my better judgment,
Mm-hmm.
I will step out and I'll say, we don't want to hurt you. Okay, my character carries 3 daggers. One's visible, 2 are not.
Uh-huh.
With 2 fingers, I'll take the dagger out
Mhm.
and set it on the ground and hold my hands up. And I just say, we want to help.
Okay.
And I take a step forward.
Alright, so they
You
see
wanna
you
try to-
take a weapon out as you say we don't want to hurt you and set it down as before you approach.
Right.
Okay.
And I roll persuasion.
Alright.
I rolled a 13, which gives me an 18.
18. Wow, they managed to tie you. Okay. So, okay. So you take a step forward, and the lead kobold, again, like, its spear literally rattling in its grip as it turns it kind of towards you. Says, please, just let us raise our god.
Well, maybe we can help with that. We don't want to hurt you, and I'm like putting my hands up like a little further.
Mm-hmm. How can you help?
I don't know. We have to look first to see if we can.
Outsiders will harm the god. It is still young, frail.
Just let me take a quick look. There's 3 of you and 1 of me, and I have no weapons.
Okay, Dragonborn, what do you want to do? You are close enough to hear all of this.
Considering she's going inside, I'm going to, if I can, ready an action that if they start attacking, I rush in,
Okay.
but hold until then. I don't want them to see me, though.
Okay, so you still haven't seen them either.
No.
Okay. Then you ready an action in case any attacking happens. On their turn, the kobolds the creatures are going to look to one another and they're going to, each with their weapons still drawn, they're going to, back around the creature. Clicky, clicky. So you are able to see that there is this creature there. You may roll nature.
Ugh, nature, really? Okay, I got a +3 in that, so. Oh, I rolled a 19, so 22.
Alright. You are aware that this is a dragon wormling.
Okay, my eyes kind of go wide with that.
And with that knowledge, you can roll Arcana.
That's better. I like that roll. That's an 18. I rolled a 13. I got +5.
Okay. You are aware that dragons, especially the wormlings, are magical creatures. The legends state that wizards of old were taught to manipulate magic by ancient dragons, and that is why mankind has the ability to wield the arcane. You know that while this thing is a creature, a wormling, it has very little control over any of the magic it might be producing, but as it ages, it's going to become powerful in what it can do with magic.
What race is failing?
Human.
Human. We've been traveling together. Do either of you two know Elvish?
No.
No.
Ah!
No Dwarvish.
Cursed Infernal again.
I'm cursing an Infernal again. Under
Wait,
my
hang
breath.
on a second. Because I can't look at it. The urchin background, does it give a language?
Or languages, it does, I think.
Most backgrounds do give a language. Not all, of course. Let's see. This. Urchin background does not come with a language. It
No.
comes with
Damn
skill
it.
proficiencies, tool proficiencies, and some equipment.
Bummer. Never mind. I was gonna say that would probably have been my extra language, but
Did Kira abandon you as a child?
no, it
She raised her the way she was raised?
made the most sense in terms of skills and stuff, and also I was just in a hurry, so I didn't really dip too much into anything else.
Okay. So yeah. No,
I
nobody's
mean, I
got...
suppose I could have been like a charlatan instead, but
a good one.
it
Anyway.
seemed to make more sense than
Can I say something else?
Sure.
Well, I'll say, what happened to your friends here?
They were unworthy to help.
I kind of, when I say this next line, I kind of look at Phelan, and I'm like, we can try to help them. All we need to do is dragging them out.
I glance at the Dragonborn, eyes wide, mouth agape, to see if he also understood.
Yeah. I got what he was saying. Guess we gotta go in.
Alright. It becomes the Dragonborn's turn. What do you wish to do?
I just want to double check. We are in character saying this. We are going with the violent option, yes. Don't need any more miscommunications like last time.
When did we have a miscommunication?
It's a hypothetical but previous adventure, Kate. Come on.
Oh, okay. Got it.
What is your answer, Phelan?
I want the Tiefling to make that decision. I don't know. I don't want to necessarily kill it just cause. Is it evil? I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of look helplessly back and forth between the two of them. Like, I don't know. I'm not equipped to make these decisions.
Okay, then I'm gonna rush in as far as I can with intent to attack the closest one.
Okay, so you charge around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
You may move your maximum move speed. You can move, like, to here and then to here. For no extra movement cost.
2, 4.
If you pick up your thing by left-clicking on it and then right-click on each square, you can easily count distance.
3.
Alright, was that one movement?
Yeah.
Okay, then
That's-
what's your action?
I'm gonna hit it with my hammer.
Okay!
'Cause-
Then as you raise your hammer over your head after stomping your way inside, this tiny creature that you as a Dragonborn recognize as a kobold screams, "Deceivers!"
Okay, that's a 16 to hit.
You hit.
I just watch in abject horror as this unfolds.
And that's 9 damage.
You flatten this poor creature against the ground, skull crushed, giblets everywhere.
Horror intensifies.
Got anything else?
That's all I got for this turn.
Okay. It becomes their turn. The other kobolds look on in abject horror and then seem to, like, snap back to their senses to attack. This one is going to hop forward, and it's going to attack with the club in its hand. Getting a 14 to hit.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, the other one is going to attack with its weapon. Getting a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, you will take 5 points of non-magical bludgeoning damage as it strikes you with a bone club.
That's not good.
And it becomes the ranger's turn. The Dragonborn charged in, smushed one to death, and the others began attacking him. Or her. I'm not sure which you were playing, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Which is it?
I'd say he.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna glance at the sorcerer, see what they're looking like. What their reaction is to this.
It's kind of a look of confusion and frustration.
I don't know what to do with this. Why are you guys asking me to make decisions on 2 hours of sleep?
Gave you 3!
2.5.
Oh, should have fallen asleep faster. I mean, the question is, are you going to attack or are you not?
I don't know. I don't think we can backpedal from this.
Alright. So are you going to attack?
I'm just gonna... I'm gonna... I don't know. I
Well.
drop to the floor in a fetal position and rock. No, I'm kidding.
You can choose to take no action.
Oh no, but then I'll feel bad. But I'll feel bad if I attack too. I'll just wait.
Flip a coin.
I'm just gonna wait. I'm too shell shocked to do anything.
And you did just watch this little winged lizard get Gallaghered. Alright, Tiefling, what's your play?
Okay, there's my 30 feet of movement right there.
I see it.
And all 4 of them need to make Constitution saving throw.
Oh, okay. Alright, so this first one got a 12. The second one here got an 11.
The DC's a 13.
DC is a 13. And
Well, the second one dead. That includes the little baby dragon.
yeah, the little baby dragon got a 17. Actually, it got a 19.
What the fuck?
It is a dragon.
Yeah, dragons are tough as shit.
Okay, so the 2 kobolds that failed take 9, and the little dragon takes 4. I just did Thunderstep.
Okay. The
Thunderclap.
Thunderclap. The 2 dragons that got thunderclapped do in fact die from it. Their bodies tumble backwards from the sonic attack. Das Baby Dragon takes 4. Is not bloodied. And it becomes the Dragonborn turn.
Well, you're not gonna like it.
You move
I'm gonna
up.
attack.
Can you see in the dark at all?
I can't tell from the street. Do dragonborns have
No.
dark vision? No. Then
No. But, roll me a d20 anyway and tell me what you get.
for attack.
No, just roll me a d20 and tell me what you get.
19.
Okay. As you move up to this thing with killing intent, you do catch a glint in the darkness. A piece of the whatever light remained outside seems to catch off of the scales of this pale-skinned dragon.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask the sorcerer to use light.
Okay.
I'll do dancing lights when I can.
Okay. It becomes the dragon's turn. And I need... boop, boop. I need the two people who are in the cave to make a Constitution saving throw. As it cries out from the pain of the attack that hit it. What'd you get? I'm sorry, I talked over.
16.
16.
I got a 5.
You got a 5.
I don't understand why sorcerers have Constitution as one of their 2 saving throws.
Neither do I. Alright, so your thunderclap hits the creature. You see the sonic boom roll across it, and it throws its claws up over its head as though trying to cover its tympana. And after the your Dragonborn friend, runs up to smash it and then stops and tells you to cast light, it just cries out, bellowing. Sorcerer saved. The Dragonborn, however, you are paralyzed for 1 minute. You may repeat the save at the end of your turn. Cool. And it's going to, while still squealing in fear, it's going to start running out of the cave, and it's going to get to there. And you're going to see it, kind of shy off to the left, off to, the right of the map, off to its left, as it notices the Thalen there. Okay. It becomes Thalen's turn. What do? As this thing runs out into the evening light, the gray sky, you become aware that it is a silver metallic dragon.
By the way, there was no effect for me casting.
There was what for you casting?
I said there was no effect for me casting. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Kate.
Act.
Because wildcast.
Oh, right. So not used to them. I'm sorry. Okay, what do you do, Kate?
I want to roll nature again.
Okay, roll nature again.
What the fuck? 10.
Even, the most unaware person in this world has heard the stories of the metallic dragons and knows that at least the adults are aloof, beneficent creatures that tend to try and at least not harm, if not help, the creatures that live near them.
I don't speak Dragonborn. I can't tell it. I'm sorry. I can assume it would take well to me jumping on it.
I mean, it does seem to be readying to fly.
Jesus.
It is about as big as you, but you feel like you could, if you grappled it, bind its wings with your arms.
I will try to do so.
Okay. Make a grapple attack, which is an athletics check.
Oh goody, I have training in athletics. Proficiency, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, that's a 6.
Well, as improbable as it seems, it rolled lower, so you do manage to throw your arms around it without crushing it against the ground to prevent it spreading its wings.
I'm just gonna cry and comment, no, please don't be scared. We didn't know what you were. You're hurting people, but it's not your fault, I know.
Okay.
I probably don't know.
It struggles and hisses at you. It becomes the Tiefling's turn. You are not paralyzed. You had been asked to cast Light. What will you do?
Will not cast light because it's no longer in the cave, and the light is irrelevant. Irrelevant. Thank you. I ask, what do we do as I walk up to here, and I'm readying Ray of Frost in case it breaks free.
Okay. You know that you would be at disadvantage to fire it when you're that close. Because range attack.
5, 20, 25, 30. I moved there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now you're good.
I don't know.
Unfortunately, somebody killed all the people you could ask.
No.
Well, I mean, he took a heavy hit, and he had 2 more on him. I had to do something.
Do you think it's possible for us to thaw one of the other ones? Could they survive that?
To do what? One of the other ones?
One of the other ones.
No, it broke up again right when you were telling me the verb. I need the verb.
Thaw.
Thaw. Okay.
Yes.
Are you asking me or him? Her.
I'm saying in character,
Okay.
Do you think we could thaw one of the other ones? Do you think they could survive that?
Would I know if they could through Arcana or no?
Roll Arcana.
I rolled an 8 total.
It doesn't seem likely, but, like, you've never tried it before, and what other options have you got at this point?
I ironically have no way to do that if it were even to work.
Don't you have Hellish Rebuke?
At 3rd level,
Oh, you don't have it yet. My bad.
because if I had it, I sure would have used it on that first time I got hit.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
So I have no idea.
Alright. Is your turn over? Is there anything else you'd like to do?
There's holding Ray of Frost if it gets away, or
Okay.
if it gets out of her
Yep.
grip.
Got that. Okay, Dragonborn, you're paralyzed, which means that you have no actions or reactions, so your turn is basically already done. You can make the save. It's a Constitution saving throw to see if you can end the paralysis, though.
I crit.
Okay, you end the paralysis.
I did it.
You did it. Okay. It becomes the dragon wormling's turn again. It tries to... I got rid of that die. It's just totally gone. It rolled yet another 1, so it's still stuck.
Me with my 13 strength. I'm down a fucking baby dragon. Look at me now, Ma!
One that does appear to be literally the only number it could fail this on. You rolled just high enough that a 1 isn't good enough to succeed. Okay. So it's still stuck. It struggles to try and get free. It's still rasping it in Draconic. The person who speaks Draconic can understand it. You do know that it is scared and it is crying that it just wants to get back to its mother.
Oh.
I can move now?
You can, but it isn't your turn. It is
That's what I
actually... Yeah, you can move now, though. Well, you can move once it's your turn. Because the save is at the end of the turn. It is Balin's turn.
I'm just gonna continue trying to hold on to this poor thing.
Okay. Tiefling, anything to offer?
I can see the Dragonborn can move now.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at him, I say, what's it saying? Can't you understand it?
It's trying to get home to its mother. I think we might be able to help this thing.
Yeah, killing this might be a bad idea.
Taking any actions?
No, but when I rolled that check to see that it was a dragon wormling, do I know that it was a white dragon and how white dragons act?
Because it was inside the cave where you only have black and white vision, you couldn't really tell what it was. You have been assuming that it's a white dragon. Now that it's out in some semblance of light, as I said, the evening night light, you can see that it is in fact a silver dragon.
Oh.
A good baby.
Okay, and I know the difference between white and silver, right?
Yeah, you do.
I feel really bad right now. I just start cursing in Infernal.
I mean, if it's crying to get home to its mommy, maybe the kobolds kidnapped it, and maybe it's a good thing that we killed them, right? Right?
And after I finish cursing Infernal, I point at the Dragonborn. I'm like, this is your fault.
Dragonborn, it's your turn.
I
And
just
she
released a
went.
kidnapped baby.
Phelan Wills. I don't remember. Oh, never mind. I don't.
Alright, so you move up.
I want to speak in Draconic, trying to soothe it.
Okay. What are you going to say to it? As it is, saying, "Where's my mom? I just want to get home."
Say, young one, you are safe. We did not mean to hurt you. We are not going to hurt you. We will do everything we can to help you.
You're hurting me right now.
Will you run if we let go?
Where's home? Where's Mom?
If you listen to us, we might be able to help you.
It seems to, its eyes unfocus for a moment, and it, wriggles again, trying to shake Thalen off. It says,
I just want Mom.
and it kind of, seems to, slump toward the ground more.
Let the dragon go. I'm going to say in common.
Will do so, and as I do, kind of try to soothe it as best I can, run my hand along its scales calmly, gently, and say, "I'm so sorry, little one."
You see its, claws, ball up, and it, kind of defensively curls up a bit as you get off of it. You can see it kind of, stretches its wings out, experimentally a little bit, just to see if it's actually free, and then it tucks them in again.
Yay!
I'm going to put my warhammer away.
Okay. I don't think we need this music anymore.
I'm now grinning, broadly at everyone, tears in my eyes.
Yeah, I just go over to pick up my dagger, and it's right around where the Dragonborn is. When I go pick it up, I just shoulder him.
I can't say I was right, but we had to act. That town would have died if we did nothing.
Who dropped?
We'll be out of combat rounds now, so you can act freely. The dragon wormling curls on the ground and whimpers and says, "Why, where's Mom? Help me find Mom."
I'm gonna dig through my bag and see if there's anything that might be like appetizing to the little dragon.
You have hardtack and cheese.
I will offer things to it.
You place these food items in front of its snout on the ground, and it largely seems to ignore them for a long while before eventually you notice its nostrils going, and it kind of like seems to sniff closer and closer.
I checked the 3 kobolds. Are they dead or unconscious or?
Well, yeah, they're super dead. They had 7 HP each, and they went well over it.
I'll check the other 2. I'll cast Dancing Lights.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check the other 2. Looks like smaller caves.
All right, you check the other 2 caverns. It takes you a few minutes to rummage through them. You do find several things that the kobolds have probably been collecting over a long period of time. There's just like scraps of cloth, bits of bone. You do find in one area like a goodly sized pile of like berries, nuts, some like kind of alive-ish ferns, and like bits of meat, like just raw and bloody.
I'll take what's edible out of the nuts and berries.
It's a good portion of it.
And actually, I'll take some of the meat too.
Putting down.
I'll just bring that back to everyone as like I found some food. I give the dragon, the dragon wormling the meat, and then give everybody else the nuts and berries.
Okay. It had been licking at like the cheese a bit, but with the meat, it just snaps that up. In the other little cavern, you do find more, probably what the kobolds thought to be valuable. There's like bits of jewelry and scraps of metal in there. So you find little bits of shiny, like gold and some semi-precious stone-looking things in there. Holding it in your hand, you'd say probably, like, if you were to try and resell it, worth maybe between 10 and 30 gold.
I'll pick that up.
Okay.
And I'm also looking, is there any signs of eggshell anywhere?
There's not. At least nothing that resembles a silver dragon eggshell.
So when I come back, I show everybody the little bit of treasure I found, and then I say, I don't see any eggshell, so the dragon couldn't... I look at the dragon, I said he couldn't have gone far.
Dragonborn, being that this is kind of a part of your culture, you may roll some history and nature to know about dragonkind.
My history's the bonus is a -1. It's a good place to start.
Okay.
I get crits on the dumbest things.
I wouldn't call this one dumb.
Ends up being a 19.
Yes. Okay, so as you are a Dragonborn, and Dragonborn, are taught by their families the histories of their descent from dragonkind, you are aware that silver dragons tend to roost on high mountaintops, but they tend to seek out, above all other things, like the remnants of humanoid society, so they would be looking for, like, eyries and towers in those types of areas.
Okay. I'll relay that information to the group and say we should try to find this dragon's mother.
How long have we been in the area?
All day, basically.
Okay, but we had to travel through part of it to get where we were, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Outlander, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
You have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and you always can recall general layout of terrain, settlements, or other features around you.
Yep.
Do I remember anything like that on our way to the village?
You do know that the village that you visited was tucked up against a small range of high peak mountains, and where you are is among those mountains now. There are peaks higher than this one. You know that you're not all the way up at the top of this one, and you do specifically recall, because of your Outlander feature, that as you approached on one of these peaks, you could see above the snow, or part of the snow, a portion of it that didn't look quite natural.
Can I see that from where we're at?
Not from inside the cave, but if you take
Well,
a
I
walk
mean
out,
outside.
yeah. You're certain you know where it was, based on how you've traveled. And yes, looking up, to the northwest, you can catch a glimpse, and you're much closer now, so you actually do see that, there's a bit of the low clouds are covering it, but you can see a portion of the nearby peak that looks as though there's a switchback leading up, and then you can see, just hazed out by the clouds, lines, horizontal and vertical, that would indicate man-made interference. Some kind of structure there.
Okay, so I walk outside the cave until I can see that. I mean, am I close to the mouth of the cave? Can I see that from close to the cave?
If you walk out to say over here perhaps, so you're not far away.
So then I'll walk out to where I can see it, and I'll point up in that direction. I'll say there.
Is this a distance we'd be able to get to before it gets too dark to see?
It would probably, traveling straight, it would still take you into the next day. It's already pretty late, and so it's gonna take you a while to get there, because you have to travel over to the adjoining peak and then move up even further. It is not an impossible trek, it's just impossible to do it today, before the end of today.
My thinking is we should end or rest for the night and do this in the morning.
I just look at you. I says, "Great, a night in the cold, wonderful." As I walk back in the cave.
Inside the cave,
I got you a cave. It's a cave. It's fine.
It's even colder inside this cave than outside.
That doesn't make sense.
A fire is what we need, not a cave. A fire.
I can make fire.
You can make a fire.
I just cross my arms, expectantly.
I mean, there's a very specific reason it's colder inside the cave than outside.
Yeah.
As this has been going on, by the way, I'm just sitting with the dragon, watching it, trying to pet it.
It does shy away from you.
I just kind of stretch my hand out to it. I don't force it if it's.
Yeah. When you stretch your hand out, it shies away at first and later just ignores it, but it does not seem to be warming up to you, for lack of a better term.
Did jump on it.
Don't jump on it.
Did jump on it.
Did jump on it, yes. Don't do it again.
I don't blame it. I'm sad, but I don't blame it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to explain the plan to the dragon.
Okay.
Say, if you stay with us for the night, we'll try to find your mother in the morning. We think that we know where she is, but we aren't sure.
It's been munching on the things that have been handed to it. And it looks up at you, and you see that it's searching your eyes as it listens to you. It says, "Alright. Just help me find Mom."
We will, I promise.
The others, they were supposed to help me, but they didn't. They kept me here. Tried to make me something I'm not. I don't wanna. I just wanna go home.
I'll relay to the others that the dragon wasn't allied with the kobolds and it was actually being held against its will.
And we did good here today.
You make your fires, you settle in. The dragon goes to one of the side caverns to be away from the heat of the fire. And you do manage to warm yourselves enough, even against the cold that sometimes comes unexpectedly off from the dragon. You spend the night. The sun rises, you begin to hear birds chirping, and it wakes you in the morning. You begin to trek. For several hours, you make the difficult climb across to the northwest, and you do find that you don't have to go all the way down the mountain to get onto the adjoining peak. You actually needed to climb to get there, and so it is effectively one continuous climb until your path brings you to a portion of the switchback which has been long covered in snow and disused. Moving slowly and carefully against the ice and snow-covered steps, you follow the switchback, climbing high into the mountain. The air begins to thin, but you feel you will be fine, at least as long as it doesn't get any thinner.
I say, great. First I'm cold, now I can't breathe.
Mountains for ya. Kaylin seems untroubled.
You reach the top of the switchback stairs. They are no less snow or ice covered here than below. However, you do see that they lead off onto a wide, what was once probably a street is now effectively a sheet of ice. And so you climb more carefully among what appear to be buildings carved out of the living stone of the mountain. Tall facades with columns covered in carvings. Carvings of people, faces, perhaps the images of gods. It's a little hard to tell with the ice cover, but you know that these are man-made things celebrating whatever it was about the culture that once existed here that they held dear. The cold bites hard as you get closer, but you find that as you enter this citadel, there is one building that rises above the others, and there aren't many here. This was perhaps a small community, or they lived vertically. Here you find a building that has many holes torn out of it, either by age, wear and tear, the weather, or by its new inhabitants, as you feel the place pulsing with the breath of a large creature. And as you approach, with the wormling following behind you, looking around nervously, it seems to become a little bit more excited as you get close. It seems to recognize things. And in Draconic, the Dragonborn, you hear it saying, "It's here! This is where I was alive! This is where I was born! We're almost there!" And it begins to cry out loudly. In Draconic, you hear it saying, "Mom! Mom!" as it runs past the group toward the large building. You feel the place vibrate as a breath is let out, and you hear the crunch and thud of a footstep, and before you, what was probably once sealed with massive wooden doors is just an open stone doorway, is filled with the shadow of a gargantuan creature. It ducks its head and slides out before you, rising to its full height once again, this massive silver dragon looking down upon you. And it exudes a mist, an icy mist comes from its nostrils and rains down over you as snow. And it says, it speaks in Draconic, though unfortunately only the Dragonborn can understand. It seems to narrow its reptilian eyes at you before intoning, "You have come here with my child. What do you want? Know that if you seek to harm us, I will kill you before you have the chance."
I say we had more
You
than
can't
enough.
understand what was said.
Oh, dang it, that's right.
I'm going to tell the dragon we came to find out what was happening to the people in the village nearby, and it seems your child is unable to control its powers, and we hope that by giving it back to you, you'll be able to teach it better. The kobolds that were holding it were not as aware of the strength were not aware of your strength or your child's strength and could not contain it. I hope by bringing this to you, you understand that we hold you no ill will and truly want the best for everyone involved.
She's going to take a stomping step closer. The other two of you mostly are just hearing, like, hissing and cawing, a language you don't understand. And she says, "Did you help these vermin take my child?"
We killed them.
And
We would never help.
I kind of
We would
lean
never
over
help
towards the
kobolds take children.
Dragonborn, and I say, what did she say?
She wants to make sure we didn't take the child, and I'm trying to convince her that we're trying to help.
You answer that you killed them, and you see her lips part as she snarls, and she begins to draw in air through her nostrils, and the wormling seems to be prancing around at her feet, and she says, "I fell, Mom! There was the storm, and I fell! They didn't take me!" At which point, you see, she once again closes her lips and looks down at the child. Says, "Truly, these people did not harm you?" And you see the wormling, like, shaking its head back and forth kind of vigorously, and then it just sort of, like runs up to, and like, bashes into its mother's, like, front leg, like, head first, just, like, runs into it, like, skitters backwards a few, and then, like, comes up and, like, curls around it like a cat might.
Mm-hmm.
You hear, all of you just kind of hear the release of breath, and you see this steam that, again, little particles of ice and snow fall over you as she sighs loudly and aggravatedly, and she says to the Dragonborn, "Then you have my gratitude for returning my child to me."
What'd she say? What'd she say?
She's thankful for us bringing back her child. I don't think we're going to die.
I'll smile and wave at her.
The whole time I've just been kind of like grinning back and forth in varying levels of concerned but happy. Now I'm just happy.
There was a village you spoke of nearby.
Yes, unfortunately, the power of your child has caused a blizzard there that is destroying the crops and causing creatures to attack. They're becoming desperate for food.
I will take you back there to show my gratitude, and I will do what I can to clear the snow from their crops. Is this agreeable payment for your service?
That is more than we could ever ask for.
What did she say? What'd she say?
She says we're going back to the village.
She's going to bend her neck down. It come, she's about like 50 feet tall, and just serpentine neck comes down and nips up the child by the scruff of its collar, and she hoists it into the air, turns back toward the building, and you see her head go in through one of the holes in the upper story, and she comes back out a moment later with no child. It was muffled by being inside the building, but the Dragonborn could understand her gently scolding the child and telling it to stay put inside until she returned.
I'll just laugh quietly to myself.
She's then going to crunch down on her elbows and lower her neck to the ground
And say, we will fly. It is faster.
Balin's basically vibrating.
If you give me a moment, I want to make sure my companions trust you. Or feel safe flying. Not everyone is as comfortable with that as our kind.
I can spare them the fear and eat them.
That would be less... That would be much worse than their fear of flying, yes. But if you'll give me a moment...
Dragon humor is lost on mortals.
And I'll turn to the other two and say...
As you turn around, I'm already climbing. As you turn around, I'm already climbing up on the dragon.
I'm like bouncing in place, looking back and forth between the Dragonborn and the dragon. Like, is it okay? Am I going up?
She wants to fly us to the village.
Yes.
Which you can't do if you're standing there talking.
And I'm gonna look up at the dragon and say in common, because that's all I got, is thank you, and climb up.
You all board the dragon. She flies you down the mountain as gently as she can, which is still roaring fast for all of you tiny creatures.
And as we start flying, I immediately regret my decision because it gets really cold really fast.
It gets really cold really fast, and being in contact with this lizard basically made of ice isn't any better. You're really glad that you grabbed 2 pairs of kit skin pants.
I am shivering and so happy about it.
She slams down a short way outside the village, and all of the villagers come rushing out of their houses to see what the commotion is. You explain what transpired up on the mountain. They all seem to not really want to believe it, but staring in the face of this dragon standing, 50 paces behind you, it's a little hard to refute it. And eventually, you explain to them how the dragon wishes to help. They point out the fields. The dragon helps them clear the snow from the fields using her wings. And you are able to spend the night there again with the extreme gratitude of these villagers who now seem to be treating you almost as kin as opposed to outsiders. And by the next day already, the temperature of the air outside has climbed significantly, and you can see the snow has begun to melt.
And when we landed, I didn't see any of that because I immediately headed to the nearest fire.
And that's the story.
Yay, we do good.
Do we have any, any real idea of why the gnolls were not dying when they died?
You ask this of the villagers, since they have been the source of all of your knowledge about gnolls, and they tell you that they're not sure the exact nature of the relationship between the gnolls and magic, but they revere a brutal deity who their domain is basically darkness and the devouring of flesh. And there is some dark rite that they use once they have eaten their companions for sustenance to bring back their bones as more strength that no longer needs to eat.
Okay.
One person is able to put the hunter who was injured, who you meet, during the ensuing celebration of, the blizzard ending effectively, or the anticipation of spring again, tells you that, the ancient legends speak of a god called Yinogu. And they are the progenitor of the gnolls and their way of life.
Cool. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't some funky business happening.
There's definitely funky business happening. It's just funky
Okay.
divine business.
Yeah. Not like funky business that we can really do anything about other than killing them. Oh, I need to make sure that the hunter gets his knife back.
You do so.
I seek him out right away.
You do so. He is surprised that he received it back. He seemed that even though he had parted with it, he did not expect to receive it back from people he didn't know.
Well, I promised, didn't I?
I mean, you did. But you're still an outsider.
I'm like 16!
You're a
Just
child
brimming with
outsider.
naive optimism.
You are
What?
just brimming with street hermit who steals whatever they need to survive vibes.
Just because I am capable of stealing doesn't mean I do it for a living.
Alright, well, I hope that everybody had a good time. We had a bit of a rough start, and I apologize for that, but I think that once we got going, it was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I had fun with that.
I like the Durgan.
Well, I will write up another one shot at some point, and hopefully I'll be able to run another one not too far in the future. And I hope y'all all join me again.
I might want to play the same character again, actually.
Hey, there would be nothing stopping you from doing so.
Unless somebody else tries to steal it.
I mean, when I have repeat players, I usually give
Fair
them
enough.
first dibs.